Pacers pull off a very, not only a massive win, but a much needed win. Um, Pacers 129, Cavaliers 109. Pacers were up 41 at the half. I believe I read that was tied for the largest lead at halftime at a playoff game in NBA history. Did I read that correctly?
You read that correctly. Also, a
Um,
franchise record for points and a half for the Pacers in a period, and they did it in a playoff game.
and a playoff record for most assists and a half. I mean, listen, I will say this. Objectively,
Sure.
that word gets thrown around a lot, but objectively, a lot of worries for the Pacers after game three. I mean, it was really Cleveland's first game fully healthy. And the Pacers just came out and just, it was absolutely brutal. They got out rebounded like it was nobody's business. And that was what it came down to. What was can they rebound the basketball against this team? I mean, I don't have the exact number, but it was like 45 to 20, whatever it had been. And immediately coming out of in this game was something that I noticed very quickly was Tyrese Halliburton being a team leader, and he went and I mean, he grabbed 3 rebounds right out of the chute, and he was crashing the boards. There was clearly a focus on that in practice yesterday. Throughout the day this morning, a very clear focus on that. The rebounding numbers, they got out rebounded by 4, but it was even. I mean, that was garbage time, of course. I mean, it was even. I really liked what I saw there from the Pacers on the glass, and then just shooting the ball. I mean, you know, to me, watching this game, and I don't know what you saw, but I really saw. I saw what the Pacers can be. Pascal Siakam played phenomenal. He had 21.6 rebounds. He missed one shot in the ball game. Miles Turner played great. Halliburton was a leader. Obi Toppin comes in and gives you phenomenal 21 minutes off the bench. Just a complete game from the Pacers. How did you feel about what you saw from Indiana's side tonight?
I mean, I felt very good about it. They came out and they were playing like they were the team that was down 2-1 in this game. That's what it looked like. Like if you didn't watch the previous games, didn't know what it was, you would think, okay, these guys, they're playing for their season right now. That's what it looked like. And honestly, I wouldn't say, if they lose that, I don't think anything changes, but the pressure, the momentum, it shifts drastically. So I do think it was a very big game for them to win. But yeah, like you said in that first game in Indiana, they got out rebounded a lot. I think that was the number one thing, and really anybody watching probably would have wrote down is you got to rebound better, and they did that. They attacked the glass early on, a lot of energy. They were hunting mismatches early. They were getting Turner and Pascal in the post on smaller guys early. That helped them build an early lead. Then they began to shoot the ball well whenever they switched to a bit of a zone, which helped. And then by halftime, I mean, it was just don't make any drastic mistakes, play decent basketball, and you probably win that game. And that's what they did. But yeah, I thought they came out and they played harder. They wanted it more, and that was the thing that stretched that out so much early on.
Yeah, and Cleveland in game 3 they were running a 3-2 zone, and TJ McConnell even said that screwed them up. They had no idea what to do against it, and it was evident. I mean, game 3, they were completely outmatched in every facet of the game. It was a no contest out of the gate. Game 4, they come out and they shoot lights out. They knock down their first 5 shots. It was completely opposite of what we've seen in a lot of Pacers games so far throughout the playoffs, where they've kind of started out down and had to fight their way back into the game. Except game 1 against Cleveland, of course, they played really well for all 4 quarters, but they've had that one bad quarter in really every game throughout the playoffs where it's kept it a game. I didn't think they had it tonight. I thought they handled the zone well. They handled really every defense that was thrown their way. The offense tonight, the Pacers have had one of the best defenses in the NBA since the turn of the year. Right? You can even go back to mid-December. I think they had said on the broadcast tonight that it's been like top 10. It was evident. I mean, they were up 41 at one point in this ball game, and it's easier to shoot when you're up 30. Miles Turner hit a step back 3 there towards the end of the first half. it's a lot easier to shoot in a game when you're up 30, 35 points. So they allow their offense to play. Now, do you expect, obviously, no one's going to expect them to be up like they were at the half, but do you expect, I mean, they're going to Cleveland now. They won the first two there. They have not seen a fully healthy team in Cleveland just yet. Obviously, you're awaiting what Donovan Mitchell, what's coming from him as far as his injury, his status. What do you expect from this Pacers team? Do you expect them to kind of ride this wave a little bit? Or do you think it's going to be similar to Game 5 against Milwaukee, where maybe they come out a little flat, not with the same energy they came out with tonight?
I think they will understand. I mean, say what you will about Rick Carlisle, I do think he's made some mistakes in the past, sure, but I do think he's a good coach, and he's been in these situations before. I'm sure they're going to understand that, look, it's a closeout game. It's a chance to move on right now. You got to come out, at least match the energy, try and outmatch the energy that they come out with, because obviously Cleveland, they are now officially playing for their season. So they're going to come out with as much energy as they can with or without Donovan Mitchell. But I think the Pacers should be able to match it. Now, I hate to bring this up but I think honestly it just is a fact. The age-old saying, to win a closeout game in the NBA playoffs, you got to win by 15 to win by 1. Basically saying, there's probably going to be some calls to try and extend the series. I hope not. I hope it's called straight down the middle. I thought tonight's game, outside of the, flagrant situation, I thought tonight's game was officiated fine from what, I didn't watch much after the second half. Went to see grandma, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. So I didn't get to see a whole lot of it. But from what I saw from all the first half that I watched, it seemed like it was officiated fine. So, but if you're Indiana, I think you expect that coming in. You can't worry about that too much. Play your game. And if you come out with the energy you had, it's a close game at least. I expect to see a close game. But I think they have a chance.
I want to talk about the flagrant a little bit,
Sure,
and not as much now that it was a blowout win, and it didn't really matter. But I definitely want to talk about it, okay? Because from my vantage point, okay, and I want to get yours, because from my vantage point, I'm a little biased, of course. What I saw from Benedict Mathurin, okay, and I've even gone back and I've looked at pictures, I've watched the video back. I don't see a closed fist. I just don't. Okay, I just don't see a closed fist. I don't see, even if it was, I could even see it as like a trying to create separation to get open. That is at the most is what I can see it. I've seen people say that it's in retaliation. I've seen this and that. There is no way in any universe, in any realm, in any world where Benedict Mathurin gets thrown out of that game and DeAndre Hunter is fine. Now, it turned out to kind of work out. I mean, I kind of seemed to light a little bit of a spark for the Indiana Pacers tonight, but that was absolutely bogus. It was horrible from top to bottom. And listen, you talk about the officiating. I thought Game 3, it was not you could list 4 or 5 things before the officiating, but it was a little rocky at times. Game 2, Donovan Mitchell shot 23 free throws. That's ridiculous. Tonight, my complaint with the officiating is this. I just need it to be called consistent. I'm all for letting guys bump. And in fact, I think you should. I think it ruins the flow of the game at one point, at the point when Mather was ejected, at that point in the game, the Cavaliers had shot 14 free throws at that point in the ball game, I believe, 14-4. There was a time where the Cavaliers had reached 32 points, where 16 of their points came from the free throw line. And I'm not saying that those were not fouls. I am saying that it was not being called. I didn't think it was being called. Now, I'm not going to complain about officiating. It was a 20-point victory. It was a blowout. It was never close. But I just want to see, just let them bang. Let them bump a little bit. It's the NBA. It's the highest level of basketball in the world. We want to see it get physical. Obviously, there's a line.
Yeah.
But it just kind of, to me, goes back to, I don't know what they saw in that review, and that's why I want to get your opinion on it. I don't know what they saw in that review to say, all right, we not only do we have to throw Benedict Mathurin out of the game, not only are we going to leave DeAndre Hunter in the game, even though what he did was 4 times, 5 times, 10 times worse than what Mathurin just did, but we're also going to give Miles Turner a technical as well for coming in and retaliating. If your take is that DeAndre Hunter retaliated, Turner retaliated as well, and he got a technical. So I want to get your take on this.
Yeah, it was very, very intriguing to see how they handled that. Look, I'm all for going back, looking at it, and seeing what caused it all. I think that should happen more often. It's always, we always hear, oh, second guy gets caught, second guy gets caught. I'm all for going back and seeing what happened and seeing what caused it, and try and catch the first guy if you can. From what I saw, from what Mathurin did, I think it was something, because I think I'm not going to call them punches. I don't think they were full-on punches, but he threw a little, I don't know, jab maybe, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But he threw one before the one that kind of doubled him over a little bit. I think it was just something to kind of get under his skin a little bit, which obviously worked. So I won't, but, he didn't really hit him all that hard either. But I don't know, maybe he hit him just right and knocked the wind out of him, because he did kind of, it didn't look like necessarily a flop, but I don't know. Either way, I think if you're going to throw one guy out, you got to throw the other out, because not only did he go over, it's like there was so much time in between it. It's not like they were tussled up together there for a little bit. There was so much time. He walked all the way across the court to go shove him down. So I'd rather they both stay in the game. I think that's better for all parties, better for the viewer, better for the teams. But I understand you have to call things. But if you're going to throw one of those guys out, throw the other one out, please.
And that's kind of where I was at. If you want to give Mathurin a technical, it's fine.
Yeah.
For an optic's sake, if you want to give him the technical, sure. But there is no way, there is no possible way that Mathurin was the one that got thrown out there. Whatever. I'm now that much more intrigued, and I think league-wide this will be the opinion. I am that much more intrigued to kind of watch this Game 5 and maybe see that Mathurin-Hunter matchup, and just kind of see where it goes. If you are Indiana, I would add one more question here about the Pacers and Cavs, and we will move on to this Thunder Nuggets series. If you're the Pacers, how comfortable are you up 3-1?
You're definitely comfortable. You've got 3 games to win one here. 3 games to win one. You can't get too comfortable, though, obviously. You don't want to. I think you still play as if you're down 3-1. You have to have that mentality. The Cavs are still a very good team. It's a bad loss tonight, but that happens. That happens sometimes. And they're still, they had the best record in the East for a reason. You have to play with the down in the series mindset, or else you will get beat. So as a fan, I think you can feel comfortable, but if you're the team, don't get comfortable at all.